Well, good day everybody, this is Steve at Winterbourne Workshop. Today on the lathe I've got a lump of ash. Been laid outside so it's wet on the top here, but that's not going to make a lot of difference. I've already mounted it on a screw chuck, flattened the back out. This is going to be natural edge, mainly because I've got a nice bit of dark wood there, and that will show through nicely on the sides, but I want to get rid of the pith as well. So yeah, I'll flatten that off, get rid of the pith. This will be in the bottom of the bowl, and the bark is fairly stiff. I've already made a few out of the same stuff as this, so yeah, we'll commence to turning. Oh, and just for once I'm using tailstock support because this is quite a big old lump. It's 12 inches across, 5 inches deep, so prudent, I think. Right, we're running at 370, that's as much as I can get out at the moment. 5/8 bowl gauge. Flatten the bottom off. Yeah, that's cutting quite nicely, so I think I'll do is I'll attack it from the back end, and there we go. I'm almost round, so I need to get rid of this rubbish at the bottom here, get that flattened out. Can't see any nasty cracks. This come off a log about 5 foot long, and there were cracks in it, but I've cut those away. So it's quite green, this wood. I haven't checked on the old moisture meter, but they're not that accurate anyway. They only give you the moisture content on the outside, not on the important bit in the middle. So yeah, let's tighten up, see if we can get a bit more speed. $450. Try that with a different camera angle. Get the way just to flatten the bottom off properly. That's the pith running through there, so I'll go a little bit more to get rid of that, as that's rather soft. Yeah, a little knot there from a branch, another one there, but they're not going to get in the way of anything. Right, I'm going to use some really big chunky old jaws for this, which are the covered in rubbish. The Big Mark 150 chuck on 6-inch internal diameter jaws. So they should hold it, and I'll mark them up. Use a spindle gouge to cut that out. Raise the rest slightly. that's got rid of all the flat spots. And I've got my measurements right, which I haven't. So I'm about half an inch out. But ooh, what do I do? Do I try and adjust it? I can't really, because it's on a screw chuck, so I'm stuck with it. The only thing I could do is drill this side out and put it on a set of pin jaws, and then I've got the option to move it, but I actually think it's going to be okay. Some beautiful grain coming through there. So what I'm going to do is just try and sort this out a bit. I think I'll get myself a smaller gouge and see if I can get a bit more speed on it again. The lathe taken off. As it's got really high sides, I think what I might do is just bring the top end in a bit. Yeah, otherwise it looks more like a boat than a bowl. Let's just bring that in. Going to be a bit of a sod to hollow out because I've got to get me inside, but there you go. Things are sent to try. Almost there. Right, got a nice shape to it now. Put some extraction on. Right, and I shall carry on like that through the grits and probably do a bit of hand sanding as well. And I won't bore you with all that. And I'll bring you back when I've ready to turn it around. Right, so we're all sanded up. I've had my lunch, a cup of tea. I'm fortified. So the finish is going to go on later. So now we'll see if we can get it off this screw chuck. Yep, it should fit. Famous last words. Get that cinched up. Do nicely. Run them fairly even as a live edge can run. Ready? Right, so I've got it down a reasonable depth. I still need to come in a bit so I can get this rim the same thickness as that rim. As you can see, it's some little bit fatter. Get a little bit precarious because I'm a long way from the rest, so it's jumping about a bit and it's not going particularly fast. So let's see if we can get in there a bit deeper. Scoop some of this out first and it won't get in the way. Let's have a look at that. Almost there. hard work. Right, I think we're there for thickness. So I'm just going to tidy it up with this negative rake scraper. Simon Hope jobby. Just pull the tool rest away a little bit, give me room to work. As you can probably see, there's some nasty tool marks there. They're not that deep, it's just like it's kind of bruised the wood. So I really need to get a very fine gouge into that and see what I can do with that. All these other gouges out the way. I'm going to go with a Sorby 3/8. See if we can't clean it up. Let's have a look and see what that looks like. Yeah, I think most of that will come out with sand, and it looks worse than what it is actually when you feel it. Actually feels pretty good. I may just have to repair that little tiny little hole and crack. I don't know, I mean, you're not going to eat your cornflakes out of this one. More for decoration, maybe fruit, but yeah, so I'll just clean it up a little bit more, and then we'll get to do some sanding. Right, so I've got it all nice and even on the bottom and up the walls. It's like tool mark there, but you're not going to stop that. It's on the end grain, and obviously, you know, you've got air in front of it. So this is going to need a lot of hand sanding because there's tear out here, and I'm not going to be able to get into there with a bowl gouge effectively and keep it nice and even. So the next thing I'm going to do is just fill that, probably with some coffee grounds and a bit of CA glue, and get it sanded. Now I'm not going to bore you with the sanding because most of this is going to be, well, I'll use an orbital sander, but it's going to be with the lathe still, the piece still. It's going to be a bit too dangerous otherwise. So I'll bring you back when it's all sanded and ready to put a finish on. Well, here I am, back after an epic 2 hour of sand, 2 hours of sanding, but it's turned out all right. I decided not to fill that. It's a natural edge bowl, so I'm going to leave the natural crack in there, and it doesn't look unsightly, to be perfectly honest. So set this up to, and I forgot to mention that earlier, didn't I, to make the tripod bowl. So set of calipers here, I put the center point in if you remember correctly. So I want this particular point to be the top of the feet, and the first one in line with the grain. So I want to go 1, 2, so that is a foot. Pretty sure I went in there, didn't I? Yeah. So that is a foot. And from that point, that should be a foot there. We'll just test it with this one to see if we've got it accurate. Yes. So that is a foot. Let's just mark them up a bit better. To the centre. Right. This is going to be a messy old job. I'm going to use a grinder with a rough pad on it, and we'll just take these middle bits out first. So there'll be some air on, some air, what am I talking about? Some extraction, and off we go. Right, well, tiny little tripod feet on there now, so any movement of the bowl won't affect it sitting on the floor. So we're now going to get some lockskin hemp oil into it. As you probably know if you've already watched some of my videos, it's one of my yeah, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like what I've done, and if you haven't, subscribe would be really good. I'm slowly building. I think I've got 211 subscribers now, which is tiny in comparison to some YouTubers. I don't do it for money, I don't take anything from it, and if I did, that would all go back into this, but I don't. And share if you would love to, like to. Come on, Stephen, get your words out. I'd love comments on how well or badly you think I've done. That would be really good. And I'll see you again another time.